All right, everyone, here we go. It's an all signs reading. Doesn't matter what your sign is. This is Mars in Cancer, right? Mars in Cancer. If you want to track it back and go, well, I don't know, give me some times when it was there before, I would say September to November 2024, most recently, right? Or before that, the one before that, I think was like March to May 2023. And I'm not giving specific dates because you don't have to. All right, it's a time frame. As I always teach you, energies flow together. They overlap each other like the Olympic rings. There's no hard stops in the energy, right? So, around those time frames. So what is this one about? Well, we open with the Eight of Wands. That's pretty cool, right? And that's one of the energies this is about. One of the main energies this is about is passive-aggressive. Mars, astrologers talk about it as being in its fall when it's in Cancer. It's almost always a passive-aggressive energy. The aggression turns inward. We seethe in some cases on the inside. We keep it to ourselves, but it sort of leaks out a little bit of that. But this particular Mars in Cancer, because of the eclipse and because of all the other energies around it, because of where Mercury is, because of where Venus is, and because of some core energies that are happening around us, and also I might add what the Earth's magnetic field is up to right now, which governs our moods quite a bit. I wish astrologers accounted for that, but there's not really any way for them to, really. But this is about shared history. I'm going to phrase it like that. Shared history that you have with somebody. So if you got this is about a soulmate coming in here, that you've got a shared history with. You did something together. You have a moment that you did together. Could be you worked on a once-in-a-lifetime project together, or you went somewhere. Something you did together. That moment, somebody will protect. They will protect it. They will want to talk about it. They will defend it. It can be good or bad. That, remember, the passive aggressiveness applies here. All right? Most of the passive aggressiveness showed up here in the pre-shuffle, and that's good. That means that the shared history aspect will show up in the main reading probably. But I've got somebody reaching out. I got a soulmate here, just on the surface, just pre-shuffle. I got a soulmate reaching out. Seem very passive, very nice, very pleasant. Okay, I come in peace. Right? It's a little bit. They're very attracted to you, yes, but there's a little bit of fakey McFakerman there. There's a little bit of a wall that they're putting up, and that's that defensiveness, passive aggressive. This is one of the best cards, the Seven of Wands, to describe passive aggressiveness, right? The flame is kept at bay a little bit. Somebody wants to glaze over a topic. They want to talk to you, but they don't want to go too deep because they don't want to ruin a moment. And that's this energy that's influencing. The goat with its feet on fire, the devil. It's bookending the Eight of Wands. It's most interesting card here to me is this one. This energy, the Knight of Wands. How do I just? That's where the shared history comes in, and it's really hard to explain. I thought about it before this reading. I thought, God, this is going to be tough to get across. It's sort of like you guys. Let's say you guys went somewhere together. Let's just use this as an example. You guys went somewhere together, and for each of you, it was very special. But the Two of Wands talks about two separate truths, right? Two separate swords of truth. It's very special for you because of this, this, and this, and it's very special for them because of this, this, and this. They want to talk to you about that shared experience, but they don't want to talk about it too much because they don't want their view of it ruined by however you saw it or felt it. Does that make sense? Something along those lines. All right. So again, while the shared history aspect of it is wonderful, human nature with the passive aggressiveness coming in, it'll be like that. So it'll be a conversation that'll seem, well, that was quick. That went by awful fast. Okay. Yeah, I remember going there. Okay, bye. See you, that kind of a thing. It's almost you don't get much further than, hey, do you remember when? And you go, yeah. And they go, okay, cool. Gotta go. Bye. They don't want to go too deep into it. All right. It's a bit of that. All right. Let's see where we go. But they want to defend that shared resource, shared memory, shared history, whatever it is. This applies to family too. You can have a lot of family energies that you have soul connections with that come in with Mars in Cancer. It's going to be a case where they see it their way and you see it your way, and you might be the one in those cases, especially if you're the child or something that doesn't want to hear what they think happened. It's so, especially if you're high vibration and you're seeing things clearly. That being said, it could play out that way. Let's see what comes in here. Let's shuffle the deck. First card out's before the cuts. Why the fuck are we here? Let's find out. It's going to be a tricky one for me to get across, but I think you pretty much got the gist, right? This could apply if you worked on special projects with somebody or something like that. So once in a lifetime kind of things. You're going to hear from people that you did that with or run into people. It is possible. When we open with the Eight of Wands, it's minor arcana, but it is up to somebody's free will, but it is a strong communication aspect, especially with that devil there. I don't know. I think for some of you, they just want to see if you remember, if you remember it too. You see what I'm saying? It's a bit of that. I get that sometimes. I get people from the distant past who I did cool shit with who want to see if I remember it too. It's like, yeah, of course I remember it. I'm not suffering from amnesia. I'm all right. These three fell out. I picked them up. So this is all why we're here. Okay? This is the main card at the bottom that would have just been there, right? The Four of Cups. But we also have a 3 card here, red center, left, right, of the 6 of Wands, Justice, and the 3 of Wands. I can't say if it's you or them. Roles can be reversed. Someone, so I'll say someone, okay? Let's say you hear from this person, they want to talk about a shared history you have together. One of you wants to relive it and one of you doesn't, okay? I think we're here because they don't want to relive it. They don't want to go deeper in it. They want to remember it the way they remember it. There's a shit ton with that devil of fear from this person that it's going to get ruined. It's very, very important to them. And they may pretend that it's not important to them. They may pretend that it's just bullshit and I don't care about it and whatever. They do. That's why they don't want to go deeper. And, you might be like, hey, let's go there again. Oh, okay. And they're like, no, I can't, that's the reason why. That devil creates fear. It creates a fear that it's going to get fucked up, it's going to get ruined if we go again. And it might. I mean, people that remarry find that all the time. Oh, well, let's relive our honeymoon. We'll get the same room we got at the same place we got. It's different energy. What the kids might say, there's too much water under the bridge. Too much environmental energy has happened. It's different. It's not the same. It won't be the same. And if you think it's the same and you feel like it's going to be the same, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and that's where it tends to go wrong, Relive things, sure, go back and check out places, but keep in mind they're probably different. And if they're not physically different, the environmental energy is different that you're there in, all right, generally speaking. What comes after the cut? The Ace of Swords. Yeah. It's reconciliation energy. Somebody wants to relive it. I think it's you. I think you're like, hey, let's go back and check that out. And they're like, no. I don't want you to freak out if they're like, no. I don't want you to think they're being a douchebag or something like that. They're not. They're just afraid. It means a lot to them. You may not get that vibe, but it does. Whatever that shared history is means a lot. They don't want to go back to it because it might get fucked up somehow. Or maybe they know that their view of it is with rose-colored glasses. And if you go there, they might get a dose of reality. I don't know. It could be. We'll see. Let's see where we go here. This should be very interesting. But keep in mind, these energies are going to affect you as well. I'm pulling on an incoming energy, although roles can be reversed. These energies are going to affect you as well. You may not want to relive something that somebody else wants to in some other aspect. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's see where we go. Let's see where we're at. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here, you found Steve's Love Tarot, you're here for a reason. This reading is timeless. I'm not a fucking Time Lord. Whenever you find it, you're meant to find it. This energy, Mars is in Cancer until the end of September. So, about I think it goes in on the 11th or 12th. I think it goes in today. Doesn't it go in today? The 11th? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, it's there until around September 28th or 27th or so. Okay? All right, let's see where we go. It depends where you live, I suppose. Let's see where we're at here. Come on now. Overall energy of everything that's going to fall on the table. A very nervous little fawn. A very nervous Page of Pentacles. A very, very careful about what they're going to say. But it's almost not even careful about what they're going to say. It's, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Right? Okay. I mean, this can be a problem. Whether it's a family member or a person that or like an ex or something like that you get to talk to. If it's somebody you want to get closer to and you need to get something out into the open, in order to do that, this energy will be a problem for you, the passive, aggressive, internal defensiveness aspect of it, because you'll start to talk about something, and the other side will go, oh, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to know, oh, I don't, and they'll start blocking you out. So be careful about that, all right? Keep that in mind as well, and don't hold that against them, because then we start crossing swords, all right? All right. We're going to clarify with the witches. Randomly at the bottom is the emperor. So we got a very strong divine masculine energy, an emperor energy that's coming in here. We've been getting that a lot lately. All right. Underneath that, by the way, is the Three of Wands. Somebody's very nervous to relive something with you and see it in a new light or do it again. Very nervous about that. All right. Let's see where we go. What kind of reading do I want to pull here? I usually know by now. I'm going to pull a pyramid. Here's how they feel about you. Here's how they see you, what they think about you, and here's a potential final outcome for you. I say potential because I cannot predict free will. Nobody can. I'll clarify whatever I think needs clarifying. It should be most of it. And we'll throw some universe cards at the end. And you bet your sweet asses we're going to extend this because this is an important energy. Mars and Cancer don't come out for a bang in a bar parking lot, let me tell you. All right, here we go. It is always something when Mars is in Cancer. And if you were born in your chart with Mars in Cancer, I think I say this every reading I've ever done that Mars is in Cancer, but if you were born and your astrological chart says that Mars was in Cancer, this energy is hyper strong for you. All right, you will probably get a shitload of Eight of Wands communication from people. All right? And you'll probably feel the brunt of the energy of, oh, la, 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 I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to go there. Well, then why'd you bring it up? You know, I mean, there's a bit of that. This is how this DM feels about you. Wow. There's the holding back, right? There's the King of Cups. Somebody just feels like if they want to distract, they want to deflect the conversation. They want to talk about love, but they don't, but they do, but they don't, right? It's like that kind of back and forth sort of a thing. Somebody, again, it's what I said earlier, feels like you may have forgotten. You're going to get a lot of people, I don't know how to express this because I can feel it. I get this a lot because I've lived a lot. I've done a lot of things, especially when I was younger. I'm one of the few people you'll ever meet who doesn't have a lot of regrets about their youth and not utilizing it to the fullest, shall we say. So I've done a lot of really cool shit with a lot of really cool people. And a lot of them contact me from time to time, years and years and years later. This happened a lot during COVID lockdowns in 2020. I heard from people I hadn't heard from since the late 90s, mid 90s, you know. And they all seem to have the same theme. They want to know if I remember. Do you remember when we used to insert here? Yeah, of course I do. Are you kidding me? I talk about it all the time on videos now. You know, that kind of a thing. You're going to get that a lot. People think you've forgotten something. You have a shared history with somebody and it's very special to them. They don't want to relive it because they're afraid to death it's going to get fucked up, but they need to know that you remember. You understand what I'm saying? This is that energy. All right, and this is how they feel. There's a lot of love here. A lot of love this person's never expressed for you. I think they're afraid to express that too. I think in mentioning the shared history, they're expressing that love. All right? Okay? All right. It's the best way I can describe it. How do they see you? What do they think about when they... I mean, that's just how they feel. What happens in the 3D? This is 5D. What happens in the 3D? Oh, Jesus, fucking hell, the Empress. Wow, what else? Fucking hell, the Six of Pentacles. They need to know, and capital letters, N-E-E-D. They need to know if you remember it like they do. And they don't want to know that you remember it like they do. You understand what I'm saying? It's what I said here. It's complicated to explain. So, I think I'll tell you why you're getting this reading. I'll give you the best course of action because I've been through this many times. However somebody else remembers it, you need to be the bigger person. You need to be the higher vibration person. However they remember it, just go along with their version. Okay? If you care at all about about keeping the connection with whoever this is. And it's more than one person. There's one strong, dominant emperor here. But whoever this is, it's best if you don't contradict them too much. No, we were in purple. I wore purple that day. No, you don't want to get into an argument. Isn't there an old song that kind of mimics this a little bit? Ah, yes, I remember it well. Right, you were in red, I was in black, and then the other singer comes in. No, I was in black, you were in red. That kind of a thing. Just don't even go there in this energy, because it's Mars. Mars is in Cancer, and passive aggressive, you'll damage the connection. Okay? It's not worth it. You're getting an inclination of how much somebody loves you just by the fact that they want to know if you remember that shared history. Whatever it is, okay? Person, place, thing, idea. If it's a family member, it's maybe something you used to do when you were kids. My dad has these stories about camping, when we were kids. He's always talking to us about, he was before he died, but, he was always mentioning the camping trips. We kids hated those camping trips. They were awful. He'd take us to the middle of nowhere, pouring rain. All I remember was a tent leaking like crazy. We almost died on one of them. One of his friends' van fell down a hill and dumped off it was just, what the fuck? Those were horrible. Couldn't we have gone on regular trips like a regular family? No, we got to go out in the middle of the fucking forest. And you couldn't check the weather first? Seriously. It's not like we lived in the rainforest. He talks about those trips. Like, do you remember those camping trips up at the pond? Yeah, we just went along with it. We smile. We go, yeah, that was great. Yeah, those were great. They were horrible. Right? It could be something along those lines too. Just go along with it. You damage the relationship if you do that. For him, that was what he was holding on to. That was his shining moment as a fucking parent. All right? It's just an example. Right? And somebody will make me pay for it. Of course, anytime you mention family on any of these readings, people misinterpret what you're talking about. Maybe you had a great family. I don't know. Mine was like a fucking sitcom. So I like talking about it. It's funny. Right? I'm sure you went on great vacations. But you're not me and I'm not you. Right? We're all different. Everybody's got a different experience. And that's the energy here you need to understand. Everybody's got a different experience. It's hard for lower vibrational people to understand that. Lower vibrational people, if you're anything different than them, they freak out. They don't get it. They don't understand. It's like an unconventional person trying to talk to a conventional person. They're never going to get you, right? That kind of a thing. This energy is never going to get your perspective on what that shared history is, whatever it is. So just go along with their version, okay? Just like we used to tell my dad, yep, camping trips were great. Loved them. No, we didn't. They were horrible. They were frightening. If you grew up in a regular house with like Ward and June Cleaver or as your parents or something like that, you would have pissed yourself on one of his camping trips. This is not a vacation. It's crazy. But for him, they were very special. Here we go. So that's what you got here. Somebody wants to know if you remember. And it's tied. If you would all want to save this connection, you remember it, and however they see it, that's how you see it. Okay? Good or bad. Okay? Good or bad. You're not going to get hurt here as far as, this energy. You're not the scared one who's afraid to look at it. You may see it as a wonderful thing and they see it as a negative thing. And you might, and I'm telling you to agree with them that it's negative. It's no skin off your back to do that. Okay? Just, they see you as the Empress. You are reflecting as the Empress in this reading. You got no problem here. Okay? Now again, roles can be reversed, but I'm pretty sure I got the flow right. Potential final outcome for you. Red with 8 pentacles. So do you remember? Do you? Oh, I think you do. It's the Hierophant. Jesus. Of course, it's my response to people that contacted me during lockdowns. Of course I remember. What the fuck? Jesus. Unbelievable. I remember all of it. I remember everything. I have an excellent memory. Let's see where we go here. Let's clarify some things. So this is communication. This is something you can make this connection something very special, or you can destroy it. It's Mars. It's the god of war. You can do what you want to do. And it's a god of war in a sign, in an energy, Cancerian energy, in a Cancerian-themed soulmate cycle. But it's the god of war in an energy they don't like to be in very much. I often say this with Mars and Cancer. The reason that it gets Cancer bores Mars. It really does. It's boring. Mars wants to go out and have some fun and raid some villages, and Cancer's, well, what about the people? What about the little people? Fuck the people. Let's go. That kind of a thing. So you end up with this push-pull energy a little bit. So you got the power to destroy this or keep it. I gave you the advice of how to keep it. It's a very nice connection. So far, the connection's represented by Emperor and Empress and the fucking Hierophant. And the other side is very weak. They're very small energy compared to yours. They really need to know that you remember. I love it. I love energy like that. All right. But what's important is that you remember it like they do. And the minute you contradict them, they're gone. The minute you say, oh, I saw it this way, they don't even want to hear it. La, 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 off they run. So if this is a family member that you want to get closer to, play their game. Otherwise, you're just going to push things further away. All right, I'm pulling on the King of Cups. I don't really need that right now. I'm pulling on the King of Cups. Tell me about the King of Cups. It's important to get this energy across because I think people are going to play this energy wrong. And they're going to lose a lot of relationships, mess up a lot of connections. Okay? It is what it is. Here's the Queen of Pentacles crossing the King of Cups. Again, it's you feel differently about this person than they feel about you. It's interesting because your feelings are crossing theirs. And again, I can't emphasize enough everything I've already said, and I'm not going to repeat myself. You got the power to destroy this, all right? It is what it is. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't. It's not important. It's important to them. It's not as important to you, and they're scared to death that you don't remember. I get this energy a lot when I heard from people during lockdowns. Hey, do you remember when we used to insert event here? There's always this energy, always afraid I was going to write back or not respond, or write back and go, who are you? Oh man, ouch. 8 of Wands, yep. It's everything I've already said. Why is that here? The King of Wands, yeah. If somebody here is going to wants to tell you how they feel, but their ego is very much tied to it. They're very nervous. It's what I said already. I read the energy first, then I throw the cards, all right? I'll pull on the Death card. It's not necessary, all right? Somebody wants to... This person would love to I think both sides would love to relive it on some level. But one side wants to relive it more. One side wants to bring it back from the dead more. I feel like, even though it shows up in their feelings, I feel like it's you. I feel like you want to. I don't know why. Let's see where we go. The Death card. Why is it here? It's crossed by the 5 of Cups. Yeah. One side views it, again, one side views it as something incredible. The other side is glad it's gone. It's glad it's in the past. It just keeps coming up the same. What's on top? 6 of Pentacles. That's the 6 of Pentacles. One side wants to give to it. Why is that here? The 6 of Wands. Yeah. And what's the bridge? The Death card. The Death card bridging the Death card. Bookending the Death card. I mean... one side, it's a feedback. Nothing will happen. Nothing will come of it. So just have a moment with this person where you remember a moment and remember it their way. Okay? If it differed from yours. It's possible you both remember it the same. That is entirely possible. Anything is possible. But you're getting this reading so that you know that there's no need to get into a pissing contest with somebody about what happened when and what. No, we went there. No, we were over there. No, we went there. No, that is not important here. Here's how they see you, the Empress. I'm going to pull on that. I think with that here you do. This person feels very strongly they need to talk to you. They want to know if you remember. It has a sentimental vibe to it. I put funny stories to it. But my dad's camping trips were funny. But it has a sentimental vibe, It really does. Let's go here. The Empress. What was I saying? Was I saying sentimental vibe while I was shuffling? Yeah. It's the 6 of Cups. Sentimental. Somebody's just very, very sentimental about you. I mean, I pick up on that. I get it. It takes me back to those COVID emails and calls and stuff like that with the lockdowns and people like, do you remember, man? Remember when everybody was afraid they were going to die? We're going to this. What if we drop dead tomorrow? I'm like, oh, man. Everybody was in a mode. It was special in its own way, almost necessary. But there is this sentimental vibe here. It could be for some of you, somebody's sick. It could be. I don't think that's the case for very many of you, but it could be. All right, what's on top? The Five of Wands. And why is that here? The Nine of Wands. And what's the bridge? The Knight of Pentacles. This person just thinks they hope you see it their way. They hope you don't argue. They hope you don't put up a wall. They hope they can get through to you. They hope there's just so much here, right? Somebody's afraid to step into these emotional waters. They are afraid of your response, and I don't know why. I'm gonna pull on your final outcome. No, I'll pull on the Six of Pentacles. I'm curious. Why that's there. Give me the Six of Pentacles. Well, I mean, yes, it's equal give and take. They hope, if they give to you, you give back. There's this whole, they hope they can reach you or that you remember them. There's that whole energy. Do you remember that shared history, a shared something? Do you remember that moment in time? Of course you do. You're the fucking Empress. If you're reflecting as that, I can feel you. I get it. I got some very good advice when I was younger. And it was from this person who told me you don't want to make sure you're not in your 40s regretting your 20s. Have your fun. You don't want to go into your 40s with regrets. Oh, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd have done that. I did most of the I wishes. Most of them. I missed a few. I'm not perfect. But I did a lot of fun stuff. So I can relate to this energy. There's a lot of people that wanted to know if I remember. So, of course I do. I was flattered they remembered me. Everybody wants to be memorable. Speaking as someone who seems to be, don't. Don't wish for that. It's not necessary. Aim to have your energy be what you want it to be. Don't try to make it into something that appeals to other people. All right? Make sure it appeals to you. And if it ends up being memorable, appeals to you, then fine. But just a tip. I'm just feeling this energy here, and I get it. But somebody here, you're a big deal to somebody here. I'll tell you what. Six of Pentacles is crossed by disappointment. Page of Swords. Yeah. This person is scared shitless. I will exaggerate, but you just got to catch my drift. They're pissing themselves that you're not going to give back or you're not going to respond. It's the same feeling I got off of this and the same feeling I got during the COVID lockdowns when I received an email from somebody I haven't heard from in 20 plus years, 25 years in some cases. There's this energy attached to it of, oh God, he's not going to respond. Okay. He doesn't remember me. What's on top? Queen of Cups. My desert queen. Most love I can pull from the deck with an empty cup. The water's over there. They want to know if you know where the water is. Why is that here? The Four of Swords. Again, somebody just is pissing themselves that you're not going to remember. It's a void energy. No, I don't recall. We did what now? And who is this again? Oh, you would kill this person. Right? I mean, it's unreal. Let's go. Final outcome for you. What does this all mean to you? The Hierophant. I think this alters your energy in some way. All right? I don't need to go over everything I've gone over here again. I think you get it. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. That's a shame. It's a very, I don't want to use the word flattering, but it's the only word I can come up with this early in the morning. I'm just being honest with you. It's a very flattering energy when someone cares whether you remember a shared history or not, a shared experience. It's very, very special. It gives you a nice warm feeling inside, but it also has some responsibility attached to it. And I think you're reflecting as Empress here for sure. They feel you as that. Right? And I think your responsibility isn't to destroy that energy, but to try to preserve it, even if you've got to just go along to get along. which is going against the grain of Mars in Cancer at the moment. You might, well, not necessarily. You might use the passive aggressiveness to your advantage. Yeah, I mentioned earlier seething inside. Yeah, you might seethe inside that, oh no, they got it all wrong, but it won't necessarily come out. So you can use the passive, internal, passive aggressive energy to your advantage. All right. And keeping your mouth shut and just, yeah, that's how it happened. Yep, I remember. All right. Good or bad, it's too dangerous. You can destroy relationships or you can make them stronger in this energy. It's up to you. Mars is bored. Don't give it. Idle hands are the devil's playground, and we already saw the devil in the pre-shuffle, right? All right, the Hierophant, final outcome for you. I think this changes you for the better. It's the sun. I think it does. I think this... I read the energy first and I throw the cards. It's while I'm shuffling is where the energy reading is happening. I just gave you the whole final outcome while I was shuffling, and I got the sun crossing it. It's a tremendous amount of clarity into how important you are. Okay? And again, try not to wish for that if you're one of my younger viewers. Just try to be content with your own energy. Don't try to make your energy into something you think other people will like. That is fake. That is the problem, the psychological problem with a lot, not all, but a lot of the influencers out there. They're trying to please other people. They care. Their whole self-worth is based on how many likes they get. And God forbid they don't go, oh my God, my numbers are down. Oh my God, right? I mean, come on. That's not, none of that is important, So it's about your own energy. But right here, I think this does make you feel good. What's on top? 8 Pentacles. Why is that here? 8 Swords. What's the bridge? The 2 Swords, yeah. This is a split energy. For some of you, it makes you at peace with you. This clarity provides you with peace. Peace of mind that you're on the right path, that you're the right person, you're the person you're supposed to be. Okay? For a lot of you, that's the case. For some of the rest of you, this shows you might get to thinking, if you've been in 8 Swords, if you've been someone who's got a low self-worth, not all of you have. I've read it for some of you here. For some of you, this is terrific, right? It's a terrific energy. I just went through it. For others of you, if you've been in 8 Swords, if you've had low self-worth, right? This shows you something. You might get in a mode where you feel like, oh my God, now I see I was worth it. Did I waste all that time sitting in 8 Swords? Don't beat yourself up about that. Okay? Don't. This person's coming in, for those of you where this matters, this 8 Swords matters, this person's coming in to basically cheer you up. This should cheer you up. It provides you with some clarity. Don't let it tear you back down any further. Let it build you up. Right? For the rest of you where it's the 2 Swords energy with the Hierophant and the Sun, this clarity just puts you at peace. You feel really good that somebody else remembers it too. No, even if they remember it wrong, you still feel really good about it. Remember, this energy, you can destroy a connection. I would not do that. I'm giving you the strategy here. Do what you want to do. Make your own decisions. Let's shuffle the deck, the main animal deck that we used. All right? And let's, it's interesting. I said earlier, I'll do the lateral thinking for you. All right? I like to help other readers who ask me for reading tips all the time. When I was starting to clarify, I started with the King of Cups. I said, I don't need the 8 of Pentacles. I didn't feel like I needed it. I don't. These are read together. It came out here, and it got clarified. In the 8 Swords was the energy I had for it. So again, it came out in the final. I knew it would show up as part of the final outcome. Right? All right, let's see where we go. Let's shuffle the deck. So if your gut tells you you don't need to clarify something, don't. You'll find out later why. Just like in life, sometimes you follow your gut and you're not sure why, or you're not sure why something had to happen. Later down the road, you'll find out why your gut alerted you to certain things, right? Why your spidey sense went off. All right, let's go. That's why you should always trust your gut. You guys especially. You guys have been reflecting in this energy between now and I'm thinking around May or June of 2027. You guys are strong Empress energy. Or Empress. You might be not quite the Empress yet. You're Empress, right? Go ahead and crank up some 417 hertz, right? feed yourself with that frequency. Just let it play in the background, just single tone. Play in the background in your house or something. It doesn't have to be loud. You don't even have to hear it, to be honest with you. You can keep it nice and low. Right? Turn that tone down. Right? Okay. Nobody needs to say that. All right, let's go. 3 cards from the bottom and a crossing card. What else you want to tell my people? Anything? Anything? I'll go pull some wicked voodoo on this. I love this. Here you go. Chariot, 9 wands, the Lovers, the Queen of Cups, and Judgment. Holy shit. Queen of Cups, the most love I could pull from the deck. Judgment doesn't come out for a bang in a bar parking lot. Phoenix Rising energy. It's crossing the 9 of wands. These are red, center, left, right. This is separate from the reading. Okay? It's just a separate message. Probably, I mean, you know, not everybody goes to the extended. So I always say I don't hold my reading hostage. There's someone around you who's going to just spill their guts to you. Okay? That's all I got. Someone around, the love geese are in the air. There's another person coming to sit next to you on the bus ride of the soulmate cycle. Okay? They've had a wall up. They can't contain it anymore. It's like somebody that's got to take a piss and they just can't hold it. They just go. Except in this case, that piss is a cup full of love. Okay? I mean, it's like a Phoenix Rising energy underneath it with that Judgment card. Somebody's decided that now's the time. So this could be more than one person. It could be just a lot of people spilling their guts to you. It's that Empress energy. You know, you have this one energy that's not sure whether to get in the water or not because they're afraid of your response. But others won't care about your response. Others want your response. Be sure and give it to them, but I'm going to warn you, with speaking as someone who gives a lot of advice, offline in particular, with Mars in Cancer and that passive-aggressive energy, the seething inside that can happen, you might be inclined to give them a little too harsh advice or say something that you know is just going to punch them in the gut kind of a thing. You need to curb that, okay? You need to curb that. And I do think listening to 417 Hertz will help a lot of you who are in this Empress energy or Empress, either one. It'll help you a lot during this transit, all right? It does stretch until the end of September, but again, energies overlap. I wouldn't be surprised if Mars in Cancer influence lasts well into Mars in Leo. You know, a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if the first part of Mars and Leo, they blend together for the first couple of weeks anyway, okay? All right, that's your reading. If you want the extended, there's a couple of links at the top of the description. I've got an Emperor and Empress connection to pull on. I'm going to pull a little more on the connection. All right, we'll just go and see what we can find out. I'll pull on you, I'll open with you, and probably end with you as well with a pyramid. All right, that's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Good luck.